Hello and welcome to the Czech Republic and Prague for the International Canoe Federation's first Slalom World Cup of the 2015 season. 300 athletes from 45 nations are completing on the legendary Troja course. Today we have two finals to look forward to. That's starting off with the women's Kayak K1, followed by the C2, which of course is the men. I'm Matthew Layton, and today my guests are Mike Dawson, yesterday's finalist in the K1, quickest in the heat, so he knows this course, how to get down quickly. And Robin Jeffrey, hopeful C1 Olympian from Australia. Good day, gentlemen.
Beautiful day out there. Looks like it's going to be a pretty tough race.
Yeah, definitely. There's some hard moves in there, and we're looking forward to seeing all the girls and the guys fly down here.
Yeah, the course they've set for the semi-final and finals day here at the Prague World Cup is pretty tough. It's got a lot to it, as you know, Robbie.
Yeah, I think gate 6 to pretty much to 12 is where we're going to see all the action, where we're going to see the race won and lost today. So really exciting stuff.
As you can see, the conditions, it's 15, 16 degrees, a slight breeze. Yesterday we had a heck of a storm halfway through the course. I'm not sure it's going to happen today, but the conditions there, look, the gates are not really swinging, so they should be fair.
Yeah, it's just a slight breeze there, but the gates aren't moving, so it shouldn't have too much of a problem for the athletes. But the weather is changing, it's hot, cold. Big decisions whether to race in short sleeve or long sleeve out there, but I think the guys are going to be on form.
Well, today the first event is going to be the K1 women, and you see, looks like Emily Fair from France being ready. Look at a stacked list. There's 5 of the Olympic finalists from London, some real legends there, and a couple of newcomers in Lisa Leitner from Austria. It's going to be interesting to see how she goes with the 2 German flyers complete the course. They're all top girls that all have a chance. No surprises there, really.
No major surprises. I guess Lisa would be the biggest surprise. Maybe Steph Horn, but she's had a great year to start to the year as well. So I think we're all seeing these girls flying and looking forward to really having a good competitive race on Prague, because Prague, you always have a tight race here. It's always so close, and in the semi-final it was 0.9 of a second between the top 10, was it, or top 9?
Between second and ninth, we had Ricarda Funk 1.7 seconds faster than the rest. She's actually flying, but let's go down to Emily Fair with the fins on her boat. She is the reigning Olympic champion, and she won the World Championships here in 2013.
Yeah, she knows this course so well. Sweeping in there, getting a little bit caught, opting for the back of the wave, which can be a little bit slower. I wonder if all the girls will take that line.
Yeah, it's a tricky move that she's coming into now for gate 7. It's really important to get a lot of room, and a lot of the girls opting for the double spin. You would have seen yesterday the K1 men were going there straight, but the girls are opting for a safer line, which is a little bit slower, but it means they're getting the gates. I think that will be key in this final, is just nice smooth lines and keeping the boat speed going.
Taking some slightly longer lines, you can just see a drop low into the up 10, and then again a little bit low into up 12. She's looking to drive the boat here, so as many forward strokes as you can into gate 16. Tight, ooh.
Yeah, marginal on the exit on 16, so when you go through the gates, you've got to make sure you get your head completely around the pole. Half ahead, you get awarded a 50-second penalty, so she's given the judges something to think about there, but looks like they've given her a clean run through.
Just running the boat, rolling the edges, trying to keep the boat as dry as possible. And she's getting caught, pulled, but she reacts really well. Pushing in, it's tight, in and out. And it's quite a tricky move here. You've got to run against the water and then push back hard, back to the right to get to 24, and then a flat-out sprint.
The purest time in the semi-finals was 96 by Ursula Kegel, who had 4 seconds penalties, but that's less than 100 seconds. So in the semi-final, that would have put her into, I believe, 2nd or 3rd place.
That's a good run.
Yeah, I think a good clean runner in the final is going to be good for the girls, and Emily's definitely delivered it. She's won the Worlds here, so she's capable of girl you just seen on the replay there, just on the exit. But yesterday when we were watching the video, to get out tight of that gate was a key time saver, so she's definitely done that well.
Yeah, we can't see from this angle what it's like, but I'm sure the judges are right on top of it.
And then we turn back to the start for Jana Dukatova. She was the 2006 world champion in Prague, so almost 10 years ago when she was a young athlete. Now she's super experienced and on the top of her game.
Talk about the boat a little bit, because I hear she's redesigned a couple of times in the last 6 months.
Yeah, what was it, the Swan? Now it's
still called the Swan.
Still called the Swan, but slightly more elegant now, maybe.
She redesigned it in, or was the team redesigned it in January? She said, no, I don't like it, so they redesigned it again. So it's a complete made-to-measure.
Yeah, it's a beautiful looking boat. It looks, if you just watch how easy it paddles and how quickly it turns, and that's something that Jana's really good at. She's never rushing down the course. She just plays with the water and keeps that boat moving. As you see her come across from 3 to 4, making light work. It's really important to stay on the top of the water here. It just keeps the boat moving. As soon as you fall off that bubble, it gets tighter and tighter and gets away on you. Prague's known for catching up really quick.
Setting up, you can see her just working the speed back to the left here and now back to the right.
Just slightly up, half a second almost up on the split.
Yeah, I think she's had a good top. That 3-4 cross was good. You see Jana really makes a lot of time by using the water to accelerate the boat when she's going across the river. See it again here. So she's on a good run. I think if she can hold this together for the bottom, which is it's pretty easy lower half of the course, I think she'll be in with a good time.
Yesterday we didn't see much chance after gate number 18. And today that we saw, apart from Yasmin Schomburg, who flew down the last section, everyone was pretty much the same.
Yeah, there's a lot of time to be won and lost in that bottom section, actually. I was following Jess Fox down and she had a little stuff up and had to back paddle and she lost a lot of time. But as we see Jana, she's driving the boat forwards all the way through this section. And that's her real strength, is keeping the boat light, keeping it on top of the water. She'll look to push in here, get a nice tight entry, a little bit low, and the boat stops actually, so slight time loss there.
Well, it's just sliding away, the tail's catching up to the front, so that's costing her vital seconds, and it looks like she might not edge Emily out, so Emily's still going to stay in the lead, but Jana's put down a solid, clean run.
She was a lot more conservative on that gate 16, Mike. I'm wondering if Emily's decision to really cut that fine has perhaps put her in a medal contending position.
Yeah, the water's so changeable in gate 16 that if you're not in under the pole, you're losing seconds really fast. And now a lot of the girls are going for those dynamic upstreams that we see in the men's competition, and they're starting to capitalise on it and claw back seconds really quickly. You can make up to 2 seconds in one upstream.
Jess Fox, 21 years old, did the double-double a couple of years ago, and last year clearly won the World Senior and Junior Championships. So she's
C1 and K1.
She's a talent, that's for sure, and she's definitely making her mark on the sport. The Riverside Cross champion on Tuesday, and now she's in a good position to take the title for the World Cup today.
And you won the men's.
Yeah, good shooting. Oh, mate, look at the boat speed. You can just really see that boat accelerate across the back of the water. She's using the power of the water rather than the power of her arms.
Jess chooses a much higher stroke rate, so she's always turning her arms over in the open sections anyway, just to keep that boat speed up really, really high.
As you see, she's nearly 3/4 second up on the other.
A little bit stuck there though. Didn't have as much run as Jana did into gate 10, but she's back on track now.
The interesting thing with these crosses, you're using that wave to get you into the upstream, but the water's changing so much, so you've got to be really open and adapting to what's going on. She's coming in, she's opted for the more conventional style there, but made light work of that upstream, and she's off.
Yeah, kept the speed on. Now she's looking to push high into this upper 18.
And 1.35 seconds up.
She's got it. She's in and out straight away. She was a little bit conservative on her first run down here, but you can see her really pick up the pace.
Keep the boat dry through there. So those drops are actually a lot harder to jump than they look. They're quite long, flat jumps. So she's made a good job at keeping the boat moving, keeping the water off the bow of her boat.
She's a little bit low there, but she did really keep the speed on. And you can see it, a little bit caught, catches the edge, deals with it really well. That could have been a costly touch. Now she sprints her way to the finish. She's so good on the flat water sprint.
A new leader by a second.
Really good run, 98.16. That would have put her into the first place after the semi-final. So it's a competitive run, but we've seen faster runs from the other girls. But I think in the final, it's pretty amazing to deliver something like that.
And yesterday, Jess won the silver medal. Who was Katarina Hoskova, won her first ever gold World Cup gold medal rather in the C1.
Yeah, it was such a good final yesterday. Katarina just really charged the whole way down the course. Jess a little bit more conservative, but we didn't see any of that conservative attitude today with Jess. She absolutely flew.
Yeah, it's interesting, the course today. There's so many staggers where the gates are off line of water and you have to have contact on that inside pole and keep the boat tracking so it's not sliding down the river, but you're actually driving your way down the river. And you saw Jess do a really good job of that through her whole run, and it showed through in her run time.
Let's expect some noise. It's Stepanka Hilgetova, and doesn't need much introduction.
She's a local legend around these parts, 96 and 2000 Olympic champion. She's one of the older athletes on the circuit, but still delivers great performances, and I think she's going to be one to watch on the home course. She's here training a lot.
Medal last year.
Yeah, and she chooses that line in front of the wave, so you can keep a little bit more speed, but it is a slightly longer line. Takes a hit, but she's setting up for the spin on gate 8. Coming back, just sliding away a little bit, but she needs to get her nose down, so she's running that speed all the way into the up 12.
So Stepanka's got an interesting story. Her son was racing yesterday in the men's kayak division, and he's another local star. And it looks like we've just lost the feed. So here we go. So she's just in the middle of the course. Looks like she hasn't picked up any penalties, and starting to push it hard for the long open stretch at the bottom of the course.
Still not that really fast whipping up, but she kept the speed on.
Well, she's in touch. She's almost a second down, but still in touch on the last split.
Really nice gate 18. Can she match the pace of Fox down this bottom section?
Taking a hit there, you see the water comes over the boat and hits her body, and that just takes the momentum off and slows her down a little bit. But she's a strong, fit athlete and very experienced, so maybe she'll claw it back in the last few gates.
You're trying to keep your boat pointed downstream as much as possible, and you can just see her boat just sliding around a little bit, going tick-tock.
Well, it's going to be close.
I think she's going to slip into third place. Yeah, there we go, 2.3 down. She's not happy with that run, but I think she's happy with the crowd and racing at home. It's a cool atmosphere out there.
Not to stress too much, but at 47 years old, I think most people would sign for that.
Oh, absolutely. How many Olympics? Is it 6 Olympics?
She's been to them all, yeah. She's been to them.
Yeah,
That's
she's
a
been to a
normal
lot.
effort.
She was racing 92. Her husband was also racing 92, and now their son's competing at a really high level in the men's kayak. So quite a unique family there.
She got a niece as well, or grandniece.
Her niece Amy Hilgetova was racing in the Junior World Championships. Another talented chick. Yeah.
Katerina Kudjova, she initially looked like she wasn't going to make the final, but I guess a 2-second penalty came off. Another local girl trained in the same group as Yuri Preskovic, and high hopes still.
Yeah, she's really talented, and she knows this course like the back of her hand. She's paddling here every day, a couple hours a day, and she's a really strong, fit paddler, and you just watch, she just lets her boat do what it does and makes her way down the course because she knows it so well.
A little bit low, and she's going for that high line, but she gets hit on the wave. So not the best start here for Katerina. We've seen her in Australia and New Zealand quite a lot, and she's just such a great competitor. She'll fight back from this. Getting a little bit stuck again.
Well,
so these spins costing time. So not as much time as I thought, actually. I thought she'd be a little bit further down than that.
She's running really straight lines through the staggers, so she's not sitting up, and she's just trying to get around or slipping away low into gate 12. That'll cost her a little bit, but the boat keeps moving.
Punts off the wall.
You see the winning 3 there at the moment, watching eagerly the rest of the competitors coming down the course.
2 Red Bull athletes in there. That's cool for our sport. But as Katerina comes down, another little hit, and she's running that beautifully, punts off the wall, and she's back at it in a flash.
Well, she came second last year. How's she going to perform today? As we saw in the split, she's 3/4 second down at the moment, needs to make some time up.
Yeah, she's been hanging on this run, but looks like she's got the boat moving for the bottom, through the bottom part of the course, and getting a couple seconds back. That gate, the last upstream there, the red gate you see, you actually can't see when you come around the rock, so she's using her local knowledge to nail that, and she's pushing hard. Looks like she's going to go into the lead, I think.
I think she'll just be outside.
Second, 99.99 behind Jess.
Is that a dead heat for second as well?
Yes, it is.
Yep. So we have Emily Fair and Katerina Kudiova tied for second at the moment.
So it's going to get quite cosy on the seats at the finish.
Yeah. Who's going to move over? That's the question.
We have asterisk by the name of Emily Fair. Now, she had no penalties, so it's not going to be a positive asterisk.
No, I'm thinking maybe gate 16, the sweep up, where she had to tilt her head. it's never a good sign when you do the head tilt.
So that the judges will be looking at the videos and making a decision, and we'll let you know as soon as something comes through. But we certainly know that Jess Fox, after 5 competitors, is in the lead.
Now we turn to the top for the Italian paddler Stephanie Horn.
Originally a German paddler, but now married to one of the Italian De Gennaro boys.
Riccardo De Gennaro, another great paddler himself. He's just missed out on the Italian team, but a wicked competitor. And Steffi's really ripping it up this season, and I know she has European medals and junior medals as well, so really strong competitor, someone to watch out for today, and she's just made a really good solid start.
Yeah, this is just looking like it's flowing beautifully. Gets it over quickly, nose down.
As you can see, she's slightly up on the clock.
As you see that move there, 7, 8, 9, 10, a lot of athletes have come unstuck in there. It's really cruxy move.
She just got absolutely buried in that stopper there. Lost control of where the boat was going, but super good recovery. And she's flying, just overturning the boat though. Has she kind of overcompensated for that mistake? She needs to keep her composure.
Opting for a wide line out of 16, so we saw earlier that Emily made up so much time on the exit there, so that might have cost her a little bit. And dropping low into 18, the run's just starting to fall away a bit.
Yeah, I think she might still be thinking about that slight time loss, but it really wasn't that bad, so she just needs to keep focused and keep looking at what's in front of her. That's a good line. You could see just how little turn there was on the boat through that tricky section of whitewater. Drives out.
90 seconds in now, her arms are going to be burning. She's going to start pushing for the final finish sprint. Quite a long finish sprint actually in terms of slalom races, Prague course, and it's pretty heavy on the boat.
Yeah, definitely. After all that work, and she comes in at a 101 flat, puts her in the 4th place.
As you predicted on the Skate 16, I guess Emily Fair did have a 50-second penalty, so that put her out the action. I say we first 3 at the moment: Jess Fox, Katerina Kudyova and Stepanka Hilgatova. 2 Czechs in there with 4 athletes to go. Ursula Krajli next to go. She had the fastest pure time in the semis by far, but she took 4 seconds of penalty, so it'll be interesting to see what tactics she puts forward.
Yeah, she's got the speed, we know that for sure. And it's interesting to see 2 Czechs there. We had a Czech domination yesterday.
Yeah, the Czechs are incredibly strong in this course. It's incredible how they paddle down here, and you see that in all the classes: K1 men, C1 men, C2 they're leading, and there's 2 Czechs in this final. But Ursha, Slovenian girl, brought up in their Solkan in Slovenia. She's strong. She has the fastest run time in the heats in the semi-final, I think.
And she's also been the overall World Cup champion, I believe it was 2012, so she has some consistency there.
She's had a much better start through that from the exit of Gate 4 in her semi. She had real trouble there, and it was a real surprise to everyone that she's gone for direct, first girl to go direct. Great move. Gets the nose down. I think she's going to make a fair bit of time there.
Just sliding off the wave, but the boat's moving, and that going direct there is worth a couple of seconds.
She's picked up a touch. I didn't see the touch, so we'll have to come back to that on Gate 10.
Gate 10, the up left there. She had a lot of room around, so that's interesting. She got a touch. You can't see it at all on the screen.
No. Must have been very light. Anyway, back on. And she's just losing a little bit of that fire, so she needs to keep really pushing all the way to the end here.
We can see she's now 4 seconds off with another touch, it looks like, so it's game over, unfortunately.
So she went for it in the finals. It's all or nothing, really. You've got to push hard in these races. Everyone's going for it, and you see there Ursha opted to go for the risky line. It's pretty cool to see the girls pushing for that, and she almost pulled it off. Yeah,
I mean, she'd done all the hard work, really. But she's still driving here. And here comes that sprint, so she really needs to do on such a good run, and she just needed to charge, but she was kind of setting up a little bit too much. Can't see a touch there.
But if she doesn't have a touch, she'd still be down. It'd still be out of the medals, I believe. Next to go, 20-year-old Lisa Leitner from Austria. Last year, it came at the wrong time, this World Cup. She was in the middle of her school exams. Now she's full-time in the army, which means she can train all the time. But really looks like a good future for Austria and a good future for her as well.
Yeah, she's really strong at the moment. She had a really good run, and I've seen her in training and pedaling around, and she's going well. And just talking to her on the bank, she's really relaxed and fired up for this race. And it's also the Austrian selections for the World Championship, so she's put herself in a really good position.
Yeah, she's already got the win, so now she can just have a bit of fun out here. In terms of Austrian selection anyway, now she's going for the win overall.
Karina Kühnle obviously missed out on the final after being the fastest in the heats.
Yeah, real surprise there, but I guess kudos to this young girl, and she's flying. She's so dynamic, and she's going direct as well. Can she make it? Saved it really nicely.
She's been here. She's going to get a good surf into gate 10. You see there the boat just shooting across.
Yeah, the wave just turned green beautifully for her there.
So a lot of the athletes have been here just a few days before the World Cup, but Elisa's had a couple of training camps here, so she knows the course well, and she's paddling really strongly. Look at that, keeping the boat pointing down, just nipping around the gates and looking good out there.
In, out. Just a little bit caught on the exit there, but she's still got the hammer down. Charging through.
Well, it's close. She's less than half a second back.
See the boat's accelerating through there, so it's going to be tight. If she can hold it together through the bottom, it's going to be tight between her and Jess.
Well, last year in Prague was her first World Cup. Could this be her first World Cup victory?
Possibly. It's looking good. She's keeping that boat pointed downstream so nicely. It's all coming down to this exit here. A little bit slow maybe, a little bit high out of the exit. But it's looking good. And she's using the water really nicely, pushing all the way to the finish.
As you can see, 98.16. It's going to be close.
It's going to be tight.
Just
outside. But third place. I think she's got to be happy with that. It's a brilliant final run for her first World Cup final. And for a young athlete, she's definitely delivered something special there and had a good clean run.
What an experience as well, and to hold it together, clean run in your first final. I think it's the first final.
No, last year was the first final.
Sorry, last year was the first final.
Only just two more Germans to go. However, they are Schomburg, who's an ex-world champion, and Ricarda Funk, who won in a wonderful fashion here last year.
Yeah, Schomburg will be a one to watch. She's on form this season. She missed the selection, and now she's kind of on a rodeo tour, just out to do what she can in the races. Super talented athlete.
Jess Fox has guaranteed herself a medal. Like I said, two Germans to go, and Melanie Pfeiffer just missed out on the top 10. She came 11th.
See, Yasmin's paddling a new boat that she's just designed with Prion. Looks pretty cool, actually.
Yeah.
Pushing hard. The Germans are renowned for being extremely fit and strong, and they can push hard from the top and hold it all the way together.
Yesterday was the first time, I believe, ever that no Germans have been in the men's final.
It was real shock, and especially here in Prague, they normally kind of dominate because they're just like grunt machines. But Jasmine here looking smooth, keeping the boat up and on top of the water, opting for the double spin, I think. Yep, she spins second gate as well. She's going to use that wave, and can she run all the way in? That's a fast line. She's so in and out. I think that's the quickest up 10 we've seen today. Again into gate 12, keeping the run on the boat. Oh, just a little backstroke there. She could have perhaps swept that down and kept the run on a little bit more.
Just going for that sweep, coming in high. It's a time saver. That was really nice. If you can get in and out on that pole and hold the pole, you're going to make up time. I think she's going to be in the lead. There you go.
0.6 of a second up.
We know that Jess had a really good bottom section. So head to head, there's not a lot in it in the bottom course of places to make up time. So it's about just keeping the boat moving, and she's kept it going through those two drops there.
She's looking amazing.
And in tight.
Coming out a little bit high maybe, so have to see how that affects her time. Here we go. Here's the sprint. Here's the arm killer.
She's going to be tight. There we go. First place for Yasmin. Really nice run.
Fair play from Jess Fox in the small picture, but Yasmin Schomburg is provisionally in the lead. A German will win the event.
Yeah, we got one more competitor to come down. It's Ricarda Funk, second place in the European Championships not long ago. She's a young but strong German athlete, incredibly fit and fast, and one to watch. A competitor I really enjoy watching.
As I say, she won here last year, so this
Ricarda won here last year.
She's got form. Possibly the lightest paddler, and I think that's why she does well here, because she just of the water the whole way down. Looks like she's just kind of floating everywhere well, particularly for me, probably about 30 kilos heavier than her, just submarining down the course.
Look at her just yanking on her paddle at the top and getting going fast. She's one of the fitter German athletes. I've heard that she can mix it with the best of the boys in endurance. So really talented, really fast, and really fit, and really technically strong.
So she's keeping the boat moving, going for the top, just controlling up on top. Will she go for the direct? Looks like
She's
no.
going to go for the spin.
Double spin.
I think it's risky to go for that direct. There's not a lot of time in it, and that double spin seems to work pretty well for these guys.
Half a second up at the split, so there's going to be a really interesting situation developing.
Yeah, tight racing, great shunt off the wave there. She's driving out.
Just getting caught up a little bit on the exit there, but still pushing hard.
There's 2 seconds.
So she's really going to have to put it down now.
Was 1.76 ahead of the field in the semi-final. And only 2.21 down.
So raw time, she's right on it, but she's going to have to lift. And as Mike said, there isn't a whole lot of time to make that up on this bottom section. But she's cutting those lines. She's going for it. Oh, but she's having to push backwards, and that really hurts you on that section. You need to be driving the boat the whole way to the finish here. I think we're going to see her possibly out of the medals even.
Currently third place is 99.15, so she's going to have to push it to the finish. It's going to be close.
Go. Fourth floor.
Misses out.
Great effort. And
She's
remarkably clean final by everyone. Just 3 penalties by all 10 athletes.
Well, Ricardo Funk was the fastest down.
Yasmin, she's happy there. Winning the World Cup.
Modestly accept victory. So there's no asterisks against the names that we had a couple of challenges with yesterday. In theory, Yasmin Schomburg takes the goal with Jeff and Katerina Kudjeva to give the locals something happy about in third place.
You've seen a medal for every Czech in every class so far, so we're moving on to the C2 right after this. It'll be pretty interesting to see if they can keep it together for that.
I think they've got a fair shot of getting a medal in the C2 as well.
It's a pretty amazing final from the girls today. We saw yesterday the guys had so many penalties, and today we see the girls demonstrate amazing paddling, just less than a second between 9 of them in the semi-final, and then they replicated that in the final.
Yeah, super high quality final there. That's one of the best finals I think I've seen.
Here we go, confirmation of the results. Yasmin Schomburg takes the gold for Germany. Jess Fox takes the silver for Australia. Katerina Kudjeva takes the bronze for the Czech Republic, with the Funk, Leitner, Hilgertova, Horn, Dukatova, Kayak, and Emily Fair. Not her day today.
No, that just gate 16 really caught her out there. We thought it was going to be marginal, but it was an aggressive move, and something that I think we're going to see more of from the girls in the future.
Yeah, it's a tricky one, gate 16, because there's a little ledge under the water there. So when you go for the sweep, the tail goes down, and if you hit the bottom, it's really hard to get up through the gate before you. There you go, you just see the replay. And I think she knew at that moment that it was going to be a marginal call for the judges. So there's 3 judges on each gate, and everything goes through a video judge. So there's a lot of people watching you when you come down the course. So any little mistake is picked up pretty fast.
So Jess Fox, 2 silver medals. I'm sure she'll be happy with that, but I think there was a little bit. She's kind of over being called the Silver Fox, so I think she'll be looking for gold next week.
Yeah, I mean Jess is really consistent. We saw that last year in the World. She had a 1-1 first in C1 women and first in the K1, and here she was silver. So she's always up there. She's one to watch for sure.
Such a good racing head for such a young athlete.
But I'm really stoked for Yasmin. That's awesome. Yeah, it was unfortunate she missed the team. It's so tight to make the national team in Germany and these European countries, so she missed out there, but she turned it up to the first World Cup and proves that she's one of the best in the world.
But she's still not out it for the Olympics, though.
Yeah, their qualification, I guess, will be the same story next year for the Olympics, but the guys in the team this year, will be up to them to qualify the spot in London.
So the commentators, Mike Dawson from New Zealand and Robin Jeffrey, who you decided not to pursue your adventure in C2 this year. We'll discuss that in a minute, but here we are. It's the C2, the lineup for the finals, and again, lots of big names. Frighteningly, we have 3 Czech teams. The Scanters, we have the Klaus Pesch, and where are the Slovenians? Because they were looked before, they were in the final, but I guess they've been knocked out.
Yeah, that's a surprise. Bozic and Taliat, such smooth paddlers, and this course really suits them.
Well, they were in, we'll have a look to see. I'm just going to check back on the C2 men's semi-finals to see what happened there.
See the nice aerial view of the course as the aerial camera makes its way back to the top for the start of the final. It's a pretty amazing atmosphere here in Czech. There are a lot of the public from Prague. We're right here, just about 20 minutes from the centre of Prague. So a lot of people make their way out here to watch and support their local athletes. A strong following of canoe slalom here, and there's quite an atmosphere when you're paddling in that narrow channel with a couple of thousand people barracking for you. It's quite an amazing feeling here.
When we left the action about an hour ago, Bozic and Taliat were 6th or 5th in the final. However, they've taken another 2 seconds penalties to put them way out of it. They're now 12th. Good quality, just missing out. There's David Florence and Richard Hounslow came 11th. Laborel Pechier came 13th. Proctor and Stott, the new combination, looks very promising. They came 15th. So a lot of big names missing out, but there are some determined athletes. Jan Benzian, who was sitting here shaking when he was commentating on Franz Anton yesterday. Let's see how those two go together.
You're good friends, these guys, and they're from the same town in Leipzig, and train together, also race together in C2, so spend a lot of time training and racing together, so good guys.
And they've been given a wild card into the final, so it's going to be interesting to see when they found out they were actually in it.
Yeah. I wonder if they'd done all the recovery and all that kind of stuff. If it was a late call, you might have just thought, oh, I'm out of it.
Go and play with the family.
Yeah. Well, they can see under Franz's bib there, the I Love C2 bib. Nice little reminder that C2 class is still going strong.
Yeah, C2 is always one to watch. They have an incredible ability to produce quality finals and really tight racing. You saw that in the semi-final. A lot of close guys together.
Yeah, and it's just such a unique discipline because you've got 2 people working together on such a dynamic, changing environment. It's such a challenge and such a spectacle for the fans and everyone here at the course.
And these two are not classic, are they, with Benzian often outreaching Franz Anton?
Yeah, you compare them to the Hochschorners and it's chalk and cheese, but it definitely works. Jan just throwing his weight around and Franz trying to keep everything in check. It's almost the opposite of Florence and Hounslow. But as you can see, it works really nicely for them, and I think they'll go for the double spin here. Franz is pulling the nose around really nicely, pushing backwards, just avoids a touch. Great work by the boys there. Way
Nice
back on the front.
hole.
Yeah. I thought they were almost going to fall off the back of the hole there, so really good recovery.
I think you're always going to make it with Benzing in the back, eh?
Yeah.
It's like having Johnny Diesel.
Never say die attitude.
Incredibly conditioned guy. He's super fit and really strong. It's kind of his motto is you win the worlds in the winter. So he's one of the guys that trains hard, very hard in the winter and the cold in Europe, and it pays dividends for him.
Won his first world medal in 2002, so he's certainly got longevity as well.
Yeah, Borgsen Maurice in the C1 class, he won a silver medal, I think. And, remember him telling me about that. So really happy for him. He was such a young athlete then, and 14 years on, he's still going strong.
And he's looking promising today.
It's looking very promising. This is a great run by the guys. Just catching an edge in the up there and having to go a little bit higher, but I think they'll need that to set up as a back left crew. That last gate, was that a touch on the second? It was.
Well, they're significantly slower, in fact, than the Czechs who won in the first semi-final. So they're still over a second, 2 seconds down.
You see those first 2 boats in the semi-final separated by just 0.02 of a second. So incredibly tight racing over a 100-second course.
Significantly, the men in the semi-final were almost 3 seconds slower than the women, which they often compare together in the K1.
Yeah. I think it's quite hard on this course to stay tracking in the C2, and so that's where the individual boats have that real advantage, because in a C2, the back person, it's really hard to keep them following the front man, particularly when the back man's on the downstream blade. So it's such a difficult and challenging discipline. And here we see two guys who are amazing exponents of this horse, the Skantar cousins from Slovakia.
Last year they dominated the World Cup season, didn't they? Took the bronze in the world.
Yeah, they're probably almost the #1 boat in Slovakia these days, which is a bit of a surprise when you've still got the Hochschorners kicking around.
Who actually didn't compete this week, but they're going to be present for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, the Scanters have been the...
Well, they've taken out that, haven't they?
Big touch and
the
catching
submarining
across there, but hanging on.
I think that kind of worked in their favour, actually. That put them in a really nice spot. But they have copped the touch, so that will hurt them.
Now these guys are pretty awesome, pretty fast and capable of throwing down good runs.
First 4 in the semi-finals went clean.
You can see the contrast in style between Franz Anton and Jan Benzine and these guys.
There's another one taking out.
Could even be a 50 if he deliberately displaced that gate there.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Peter got his head through there.
So we'll have to wait and see. It's come up as a 50. So Peter not in the right spot and had the gate around his head, which is a 50-second penalty. So not a great run so far for the Skantar boys.
Still pushing hard to the finish. It's hard to do when you know you've got that 50-second penalty, but they're giving it death, right to the end.
Yeah, well, as you said, like, you've got so many people on the bank cheering you on. It's such a great place to race. You always want to finish it off for the fans here.
Last season they, with the bronze in London, then went gold, gold, gold. So it's not going to be the same today, but they're still not too far out of it. At pure timing, they were not far off, were they?
No, very close. So
you've got the first of the two Czech crews at the top now, so you're going to hear the crowd get pretty loud and get behind these boys.
And when they finished their semi-final, it looked like they just won the Olympic gold. They were so relieved to come through it. Well, it provisionally was 9th place at the time. This is Karlovsky and Jane.
You know, the cool thing with the Czechs is they race hard and they push hard, and they're just super happy if they can get the chance to race in the final in front of a home crowd, and then they just give it death and see what happens. So it'll be interesting to see the 3 crews here, how fast they go. I think there's someone capable of going sub-99 for sure.
These boys exploded onto the scene a couple of years ago, and they've been holding that kind of high level ever since. So they've probably
just a straight gate 1.
It was very close, and that's what they're known for, really cutting the lines as tight as they can.
In Deep Creek in the Worlds, they took a 50-second penalty, which put them out of it.
So their coach is a former C2 Olympic medalist, 2-time Olympic medalist. So they're coached by the best, and they're capable of throwing it down. You see them, they just look in the zone.
Going for the back off here, so completely different option to the other crews so far. But I think it's worked really well for them, and they're able to get the nose down and flying into gate 10. Great work.
Well, they've picked up a 2-second penalty on that spin there. Slight touch. Seems like there's been a few small touches there that we haven't been able to see.
Yeah, the judging's forensic this weekend, so you have to really be on your game and make sure you're staying away from those poles.
You see these guys being really accurate about where they're putting the boat into the upstreams and what they're doing there, just feeding the bow under. The front paddle is so close to that gate.
As we saw, they're nearly a second up after 2 competitors gone.
With a 2-second penalty.
Yeah, these guys are absolutely shifting it. So here we go. Last gate, they're keeping it tracking all the way into the up. They're a back right crew, so this suits them, this last up. You see the back left crews having to really struggle, but this last sequence is suited to the back right crews. Now here we go, here's that sprint.
See these guys training out on the flat water really hard, so the sprint's nothing for them.
Well, easily 3.5 seconds into the lead.
New leader, that is
97.69, that's a fast run. I don't think they know they've got a touch, so we might see a protest going in there. We'll wait and see if a little asterisk comes up, or if we see something on the replay. There, the fans cheering loudly.
Hopefully we see that replay now. But look,
Here we go, coming into the replay, gate 9. Oh, there you go, just top hand on the back paddler. Clips the gate.
Thanks to the TV for that.
Yeah. And respect to the judges, because that's in slow-mo. So the judges having to see that live.
It's happening so fast out there. Full credit to the judges for what they pick up.
They're not allowed to relax now. It's Klaus Pesch who go fairly fast.
Number 1.
Yep.
Super consistent crew. Good one to watch. You look how smooth they're paddling. You see a bit of kinesio tape on the back paddler there.
Yeah, Mathieu, maybe a little issue, but again, very different style to the other crews that we've seen. They've got that French C2 style of very short, fast stroke rate, really keeping the boat driving and light as possible. Again,
They too going for the back off.
Yeah, so maybe it's a popular option for the back right crews.
Looks like they kept that a secret in the first run and bringing it out in the final, everybody.
Just keep that one quiet, keep it under your hat.
And you make up, what, a second?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's the move for the back right crews.
It's you're racing the same course for the semi-final, so it's a bit of hit and miss. If you're going to hold it back, you might miss the final. But if you do something that other people don't think of, it can give you valuable seconds. See, these guys are really good at just holding contact on the outside pole, so the boat doesn't slip away from the upstream, and they just keep pushing down towards the finish.
Well, 0.4 of a second up.
Yeah, it's looking good. And you see Gout here just lunging to the front of the boat, getting on the crossbow and getting that boat moving. They're so good at shifting their weight in this boat to keep the boat tracking. Here we go, back right crew. So flies in and out, 1-2 strokes.
Again, it's strong for them back right, so they make light work of this last move. It's actually deceptively tough to get through those 2 gates without issues.
Well, it's going to be close, but it looks like they're going to take the provisional lead.
Yeah, they've had a flyer, 98.
Right over second ahead.
And they're absolutely stoked about that.
Straight away getting
Matthew.
their safe C2. Bibs out, I love C2.
They've really been driving this this movement, the I Love C2.
See that hashtag for life there, hashtag I love C2. Get on the internet and check it out.
Yep. I bought my bib the other day. Proudly got it up in the room at the moment.
See the Scanters, the Slovak crew and the German crew sitting in there waiting for their mates from France to come in and join them in the finish area.
Well, 4 teams of the 10 gone, and Klaus Pesch went down in 98.6, so they're starting the women now.
Yeah, we've seen a big step up, haven't we, in this final?
The next Slovak crew. So we got 2 Slovak crews, 3 Czech crews in this this final, and 2 Frenchies. So pretty incredible. Also 2 Germans. So a lot of good athletes from these countries, as you can see.
Like in the C1 yesterday, it was a complete European dominance.
Ooh, and an early touch there on gate 4, just clipping the nose on the outside pole. So not the best start. What option are they going for? They're going for the back off as well. So all these crews just being very sneaky and not showing their cards in the first run in the semi.
It doesn't matter there because they've all done the same thing. 1.3 seconds down, but
2
with
touches,
4 second penalties now.
Picking up a touch on gate 8 and on gate 4, so that's 4 seconds of penalty. It's going to make it hard for them to be in contention for a medal.
Yeah, can't afford to do that on Prague when the racing is so close. Giving away 4 seconds is just, yeah, it's almost game over.
Well, last year in the World Cups, they were 17th, 7th and 11th, 2013, 5th, 5th, 11th, 16th. So they should be in the final, but they haven't medalled yet.
They had a bit of pressure on them going through heats, actually, because they didn't make the first progression of heats this year. We've got a new system for the progression, and they were outside the top 15 in the first run, so that means they had to race off for the last five spots in the semis. Did that, made the final, so good work. Here we see that just dropping a little bit low, 1, 2, 3. You compare that with Klaus Pesch and they're losing time again.
They might slip into 3rd place. 103 is the current 3rd place medal position. I think they're going to do that.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, 102.22 inside into 3rd place, sitting in medal position right now.
It's actually still a pretty quick run, isn't it? So 99 raw time.
Well, it's the fastest of the day so far.
Yeah, that's stoked.
98,
Stoked to be in the final.
Wow.
and to throw down a 98. Second fastest run of the day so far, I think.
Yeah, I'm really surprised. I thought they were sliding around a bit and losing time here and there, but I think that I think they definitely had the best back off to spin and then into gate 10. We've seen from the other crews, but just those touches really costing them.
Boys there, Frenchies and the Czechs.
Matthew sporting his beard, Gautier just
Doing
making
his
sure his
hair.
hair, he's always looking perfect, Gautier.
Back to the top, the next Czech C2 crew. So the crowd, you're going to hear the crowd again screaming and yelling, supporting their guys. Pod, 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 probably is going to be a common word coming out.
Would you say these are the top crew?
Yeah, these guys are incredible. I watched them in training here. Very, very fast. They also won the selection, the Czech selection this year. Really consistent, know this course well, and you just see that on gate 3, 4, 5. It's a really tricky move to keep the boat moving, and they're just light and dry on the water.
So back left crew, they are going for the double spin as opposed to the back right crews.
Well,
And
7/10 down though.
Caught, yeah. I think the back off's the move. So I wonder if the back left crews are going to be able to, simulate that.
Nice dry line through there,
Yeah,
though, keeping
great
the
run.
speed into 12. If you can get the speed off the water there into gate 12, you can convert it round and get exit speed and just keep your boat moving through that next stagger. And it slowly adds up.
Sometimes it's so hard as a backman to keep the boat tracking out of the uprights as when you're a back left crew. But you can see these boys having absolutely no trouble.
They've made up the time. They're now fractionally ahead.
And that was fast. That was the fastest up 18 we've seen. So here we go. Rolls it through, keeping it dry. And they know how to get through this bottom section. So just a little bit tight on the inside pole, but they're driving all the way in. They're back left, so this is going to be a little bit
picking up a
harder.
touch there.
That's going to be expensive.
It's going to be expensive, but they've been fast through that section.
It's a tight exit, but they do it so
92,
well.
93, including that touch.
I
It's
think
going
they're
to be
still gonna
tight.
be
They
quick.
might be in there just outside second place, I'd say.
They're going to be kicking themselves there.
Fortunate that touch. They're upset about that, but hey, they put down a really good run and just made a mistake in that last upstream.
As you said, Mike, that entry into the last up right there is blind. You can't see it. There's a big cement obstacle, and so it's quite hard to judge it. And it's particularly in the C2 with when you've got the control in the front of the boat. That's a really tricky move.
The water's really moving around that corner, so you're just kind of like hanging on and hoping.
Yeah. You can see how nervous those boys are.
So back to the top, we've got the Polish crew.
Stefanski and Pochweiler again. A couple of commentaries ago, you said these are possibly your favourite team to watch, right?
Yeah, the Polish boys are so strong, and you've got these guys who just work so well together, and again, really, really dynamic and challenging the course the whole way down. But the Polish spend quite a lot of time here in Prague, so they should be really well acquainted with the course. Getting a little bit caught there on the outside edge. First crew to go in front of the wave, actually. I'm surprised that they are the first. I thought it might be more of an option in the C2. Here we go.
So these guys, good top, Robbie? I guess you're the C2 expert here.
Yeah,
Looks like they're moving fast.
Just
Well,
slightly
they're in
down.
touch, aren't
They are in touch, and
But I think they've lost quite a bit of time on that cross there. Just getting caught on the stopper. Not the best spin in gate 9. And they're just looking at like they're having to just steer the boat rather than drive it compared with some of the other crews we've seen.
they? Next week's going to be good for them as well because obviously we're in Poland.
yeah, well, that's the next stage of the World Cup. Everyone's packing up ship today and heading off to Krakow.
Apart from the Brits who missed their flight this morning.
Wonder why. No, it's going to be a good World Cup there. It's the first time Krakow's had a World Cup for a while, and they're really keen to put on a good show. And you've seen this weekend the Polish are just on form. I think at the semi-final stage yesterday we saw two Polish in the top 3.
Touch on the back of the tail. That's so cruel. Coming into the last up.
So Klaus, Pesh sitting in that first position. They're going to be biting their nails, waiting in anticipation.
Third position is 99.89.
It's
They're
not
gonna
the
finish on the
outside.
outside. It's just slipped away from them.
Yeah, just a little bit too much steering in that run. We didn't see as much driving as we saw from some of the other crews.
But they're going to be one to watch next week on the home course in Krakow. They're going to be fast, dynamic little crew. So it'll be interesting to watch them.
3 competitors to go, or 3 teams to go. And we know the French have a medal. We just don't know who, and we don't know what.
Well, this is a young crew. Pico Bizzo. They've only been around a few seasons.
Oh, they've been around.
Well, they're 26 and 27 years old. They had in the World here in Prague in 2013, they came 7th. Last time in the World, they did even better. They came 2nd. So they have some good results, but their ranking's way down.
You've seen them storm onto the scene in the last 3 or 4 years.
They've been around for a while, but they've really stepped up in the last 3 years. Since my last coach, not Jan Benzine,
The next coach, maybe.
Lepenek, yeah, maybe the next coach. Jan Lepenek went back to France, and he's got these guys absolutely motoring.
So it's one of the only crews out there paddling the zigzag boat. Nice boat from a French company. They're looking good on the water, making that move look easy.
Bizzo just getting caught on the back of the boat there, and you can see that just slow it down slightly. But here we go, going for the spin again. Seems like that's the option for the back left crews.
Well, they're well up. Look, nearly half a second up. They were 4th in the Europeans.
They're just so light and just keeping the boat tracking smoothly. Running a little bit wide here.
See the front paddler just ducking under that outside pole. That's not where you want to be, but they've got that half a second up their sleeve.
And they're sliding into gate 12 there again. So just small losses of time. They're going to have to really push it in and out of 16 here. Trying to hold the width.
They saw them up in the first split. Where are they going to be now?
It's just looking a little bit conservative to me.
Well,
yeah,
1 second down.
We saw in the women's final, if you have a good bottom section, you can claw back that 1 second. So
if they stay where they are, they'd finish in 3rd.
I think it's going to be tough. As I said, back left crews in this last upright, it's really hard to get that same kind of drive out of it. And then the last 3 gates are a little bit more of a challenge because the boat's sliding around a little bit more on you. So you see a big backstroke here from Bizzo, and now the drive.
495, clock's ticking.
Can they make it in for a medal?
4th place, yeah, 1.6 behind. So we've got 2 French crews in the top 4 right now. And the boys are still on top of the podium. They're starting to look a bit more relaxed.
Yeah, a few more smiles, not as much nerves.
Guaranteed themselves a medal, which in the Olympics didn't happen clearly. Now Burling and Becker, their form is good. A few weeks ago in the Europeans, they won gold.
Yeah, it was a German 1-2 at the Europeans in Leipzig. The Becker boys, Burling and Becker, had an absolutely amazing run on a really tight course. So they're on good form, and they should lap this tough middle section up.
Well, last year we saw them down here in Prague in the World Cup. They were looking good, then they messed up at gate 17 last time.
And they're off, getting going. The top.
Driving down. The first set part of the course here is one of the only parts you can really get your sprint on this course. So we're up to speed, and they're not getting into the course.
Gate 4 is such a tricky upstream. There's a boil there that just pushes you back out if you're not on line. So you've got to drive in there, and I think in a C2, once it starts going, it's pretty hard to get it back.
Yeah, as a back right crew, it's harder for them to push in there, but they've gone for the back off, which is a good move, as we've seen from Klaus Pesch. Looking good, so they're back on track. Germans, they're always going to fight all the way to the finish. They never take the hammer off. Sorry, foot off the pedal. Getting my sayings mixed up.
Muller and Muller didn't even go through the heat this time, which I guess was a bit of a surprise.
Yeah.
The finalists here in 2013, so I was expecting them to make it today, but
You've seen with this new progression system, it's really tight to get it through, and if you don't put down that first run in qualifying, it is exceptionally hard to get through on the second one.
yeah, and another touch here by Bellingbecker, so their form from Leipzig may not have followed them. Just trying to keep the boat running through this bottom section, and again getting water on the top of the deck and getting pushed around low, well, marginally low. It's having to be quite, yeah, you can see them really struggling with the boat and wrestling to get through those last 3 gates, which are, as we've said, really tough. But we're going to see them outside the medals today.
So does this mean the Czech crew have a medal? Second place right now, and third place is also the Czech crew. So 2 medals for Czech Republic for sure, 1 for France. It's just what colours they're going to be.
Say, Jakob Vreslan was being, you say you haven't seen him on the water. I've seen him in the office all day. He fixed my computer a couple of days ago. And I don't know how
that's
that time to practice.
The World Cup here is it's run by a lot of the guys from the local club. Put a lot of work in to making sure this thing runs smoothly, which means a lot of these guys that are athletes sacrifice a bit of their preparation to be in the office, just volunteering for jobs to make sure things are running smoothly. And Jakob's there every day. I see him a lot, mate. He's a busy boy for sure. Yeah. And Kopish as well, good friends. And
he's, I think, here at 4 o'clock in the morning and last one to leave at night, sorting everything out.
Well, on the water now, they came 12th in Deep Creek in the world.
Yeah, they're talented in the C2. They've been in this game for a long time, and they paddle on shore on this course every day for a couple of hours.
Even though it's come up, they've had the same problem as Belling and Becker, but they fix it much more rapidly and much more efficiently. See them come back. Can they find that form that had them finish with an amazing time in their semi?
I think their semi-final time will be good enough for 3rd place right now. Is that
they're way down at the moment.
That's a long way to catch back up, especially when we've seen the kind of racing from the other crews.
But you hear the Czech crowd just going crazy, eh? It's incredible when you come into gate 12 there and you just hear everyone yelling and screaming from above.
Well, from gate 8 to gate 16, it's about 40 meters, so it's really
compact and really tense.
Yeah, you see an interesting course design, wide open top, really compacted moves, and then another wide open bottom. The boys are down, they've lost a bit of time, 5.5.
This is the last competitors of the live coverage of the day with commentary. It looks like Klaus Pest from France have picked up a gold medal unless something extraordinary happens.
Yeah, just before his final run,
touch.
He was so excited for the final and so happy with the semi-final run. They've just let it slip away. I mean, it happened so quickly, and I think they're just going to be happy to be there and having a good time and putting on a show for the Czech fans.
Yeah. Second in 2011 here. As you mentioned, they made the final, one of 3 teams in the final, but 2 of the Czech teams have medalled today.
Yeah, I mean, finishing down in 9th, it's unfortunate, but you see Kopish in the front there just giving a bit of a hang loose sign and relaxing. He's happy.
Shaka bra.
Shaka bra. Back to the finish area, and 2 medals for Czech. The crowd's going to be buzzing, and well done to the French crew. Klaus Pech, very consistent and very fast out there. Pleasure to watch.
Yeah, they're definitely the ones to watch, I think, in this lead up to Rio. So exciting next couple of months for the C2 boys.
And we saw, as we say, 5 or 6 crews that often make the final missing out quite a lot. So it's good, the strength of depth. Just a quick word about yourself, Rob. You're not competing in C2 this year?
No, really hard decision for me. I desperately wanted to keep going with it, but it was a bit of just too much going on all too many pans in the oven, or whatever the saying is. And so I decided to just focus on the C1, which is going well, and my old partner Ethan Hodson both on the team this year and looking to qualify that spot for Rio and London.
To keep the fight going. You just saw images there of the cable cam, which goes the whole length of the course, which show you get such some amazing overhead images.
You're almost 400-meter long cable cam, I guess. Isn't it 300 meters?
About 300 meters. A confirmation of the result. Klaus Pech take the gold for France. Karlovsky Jany, silver for Czech Republic, and Kaspar Sindler, silver for the Czech Republic. So the Czech Republic, to sum up this weekend in 15 seconds, they haven't had a bad weekend, have they?
It's been amazing. I think any other nation would be absolutely wrapped with what they've achieved.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to be buzzing. The club's going to be buzzing. Awesome support here, and really strong community that come out to watch. All the kids are going to have so many heroes. It's cool for them.
Thanks for the guests. Thanks for joining us. Follow us on the web. We've got plenty of interviews, activities. A 26-minute documentary coming up in the next couple of days. It'll be out. I'm Matthew Layton. Follow us. Thank you. Have a good day, and bye-bye.
Cheers, guys.
Bye.
drogę wami.